What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another day after the game stream as Spurs beat West Ham 3-0 yesterday at the London Stadium, which was a fantastic result. I'm here with Brian Daigle to piece through what we saw yesterday and go through what was a fantastic win. I see Adam Tarek in the chat saying, where is Ben? Ben is still looking after his newborn baby daughter, huh? So he's... Is it... What's going on?
The mic sounds a bit dodgy. Maybe swap it again.
Alright, one sec. Is everything alright with the audio, guys? Can you hear? I'm going to swap the microphones. No one said anything.
No, it's all good.
It's all good. People saying all good.
Well, I think it's dodgy.
Everything's alright?
Chat.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I was Mike's. Yeah, everyone's saying Mike's are good. All right, so yeah, but I was just saying, yeah, Ben's looking after his newborn daughter, so he's not going to be in the studio for quite a bit, I think. We got Brian here though, taking place as always ready to step in. Big up to you, Brian. First game of the Levy-less era. How did the air smell yesterday? Was it just a fresher smell, taking it all in?
Beautiful. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. It's just a great way to start the new era, wasn't it? Winning a London derby, a place we haven't won since Mourinho. I was talking to Ben last night, and I think it's our biggest win at West Ham since 1967. Mm-hmm. And a clean sheet again. What's not to like?
I feel like every morning since Levy's gone, like, you know, like that Disney film where there was that woman, like, she's like doing her laundry, she's like singing to the birds and they're singing back to her. Like, what film is that? I don't know, whatever. Someone in the chat will probably say. I feel like that's what your mornings have been looking like.
Oh, they do. They just get brighter. I mean, even when we get to the Toronto winter, it's bearable now. It's bearable because there is no Daniel Levy at Tottenham.
You can go full Geordie and just go out topless in the winter.
I might do that. I'll give it a go.
Did you see yesterday, touching on it, in terms of new ownership, Big Viv was there with next to V9?
I did, and obviously Lange and Charrington next to him as well. It's good to see her there. It did look weird, I must admit, when they panned over. I literally did spend 1 minute going, where is he? And then I was like, oh no, he's not there. And then I realised. There
was a guy, if I don't know if you noticed, was a guy in the row behind who did look suspiciously like Levy.
I did not see that. Oh, it shows I didn't do a close enough inspection. But I do know that he weren't there, so that's a blessing.
For sure. And yeah, so it's been such an interesting international break from a Tottenham point of view with all the change. And obviously getting down to the football, that was obviously going to be... We're not expecting Levy leaving to have a short-term effect on, obviously, what we're doing from a footballing standpoint, but obviously great to get off to a winning start in the post-Levy era. Kind of, hopefully, a signal of a new dawn for Tottenham, a new day, a new life, and it feels good.
Is new chairman bounce?
New chairman bounce. Is
that a thing?
Why not?
Why not? Let's ride on the coattails of it.
So yeah, in terms of yesterday. When the lineup came out, it was a bit of an odd kind of lineup, wasn't it? I think no one really expected Frank to... Well, I mean, I say no one expected. We actually called it, Brian. We said Bergvall and Tell will start, but didn't expect... I think where they started probably was a bit of a confusion because Tell started up front, Simon started off the left, Bergvall started in the 10. So I think those kind of changes were a bit of a surprise. But what did you like when you saw the lineup? What were your initial thoughts when you saw it yesterday?
Well, my initial thoughts when I first saw it is I pray to God, if any of Spurs admin are watching this, stop doing the lineup numerically and put it positionally, because you see it and you're like, wait a minute, who's where? What are we doing? It's like just do it formation wise. I mean, once you pieced it together and you see it, like I said, you and I were speaking, will he go for a back three? Will he go back four? Will it be 4-2-3-1? Will it be 3-4? Never saw 4-3-3 coming. Never saw that coming. And obviously Simmons on the left is always going to be an option, but I thought he would play the 10. And obviously Tell up front, who we thought would be on the left. So he mixed it up. He surprised people. This is one of the things I'm loving about it as well. He's keeping us guessing. Under people like Poch, Harry Redknapp, Conte, even Ange, we generally knew 3-4-3 or 4-3-3 or whatever it be. Well, he really is mixing it up, isn't it? It's not only keeping the away teams and the managers guessing, it's keeping us guessing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we hoped Frank would bring to us. Bit of unpredictability, ability to rotate and use different players at different times, not rely on certain players and use different systems. And early on, that's definitely how what we've seen, and it's been very, very encouraging from that element for sure. But it was I thought like when I saw the lineup, I was obviously excited, but I still thought like Tell up front, I'm not sure about that. Like I don't think he's a striker. Like if in terms of the way I've seen Frank use his strikers, I'm not sure Tell can play that role too well. Simon's on the left. Like I think he can do that job, but I didn't really understand why not put him in the 10. Apart from that, I didn't have too many problems. I didn't mind the midfield and everything, and obviously defence is fine. And I think those problems, when the game started, didn't really alleviate too much. I thought Tell did struggle up front. I thought Simons looked at his best when he was playing more centrally and not out wide. So I thought those problems that I was thinking did probably... I think they showed themselves probably in that first half mainly. And I thought that first half we were mainly looking dangerous from set pieces. West Ham, I thought, still started the brighter. Maybe a bit unlucky even not to go 1-0 up with that Paquetá chance early on. And it wasn't like great from us in the opening 25 minutes, I would say. We were bits, I don't know, I wouldn't say we were sloppy. It was just like, it wasn't like we were giving the ball away stupidly or anything like that. It was just like we weren't able to progress the ball up much. We were kind of looking to go long to Tell, who wasn't able to hold it up. The only real option we had to go long was Kudus, who did okay, but if it wasn't him, we weren't really able to build up. And then when West Ham were getting the ball, they were actually looked a lot sharper than us early on, and they were playing through the lines, and they didn't really have any chances, to be fair, apart from the Paquetá one. But it was just like, I was watching that first half thinking, this is kind of more of the same at the moment. We hadn't really changed too much, and that was a bit of a concern. But I thought second half of the first half we took a bit of control.
Yeah, I mean, first half you're right. It was we couldn't find our rhythm. We were getting forward. I mean, I think there was something that was said that there was I think there was something like 20 odd blocks in like the final third and everything. So we were trying to get forward. I think West Ham set up the stall not to lose. And I think if you had asked West Ham before, they probably, with their form currently, would have taken the point, but obviously they'd rather 3 because of the rivalry. But they were keeping us contained. We're trying to find the way. As you said, we only really started creating or looked a little bit more dangerous when Simon was cutting in and getting his foot on the ball. And obviously he grew into that game. But we may be lacking that little bit of creative spark and flair, which will come in time. But West Ham set their stall up, and thankfully we cracked it in the end. We solved it. I mean, you go into these London derbies, they're always going to be fierce. They say form goes out the window. Who wants it more? Yada yada yada. And like you said, in the second half, it was us all over.
Yeah, I think just sticking on the first half, obviously we still did look dangerous from set pieces. Obviously, we did score from one, which obviously should have counted. I mean, ridiculous how they ruled out. I've seen the replay so many times. Romero doesn't foul anyone. Van de Ven is being pushed, so he goes into someone else who falls over, and they've somehow pulled that back for a foul. When you just watch it back, it's just never a foul, is it? And I think we did completely. I mean, obviously we won the game 3-0, so it's not much of a talking point at the end of the day. But in terms of the state of refereeing and what in terms of a decision that could have cost us if things didn't go away, that was definitely one of them. I mean, they were so lucky to get away with that, weren't they, West Ham?
Well, I've got so annoyed. I've got to the point now where I only want VAR for offside for the semi-automated, and then get rid of it. Semi-automated, goal line technology, done. Because if they gave that as a foul for the goal, which it wasn't, then by the kind of standards of the refereeing, a few minutes later, the same two people, it should have been a penalty. So that should have been. There was more of a foul for the penalty than there was for the goal. And it's like, how can you call one and then not call the other? So VAR has just got. It's out of hand now. How they're looking into this.
Just to play devil's advocate quickly on that, it wasn't VAR that disallowed the goal. It was the referee.
The referee, sorry, yeah.
And VAR didn't overturn it, but because they wanted to stick with the referee's decision. But I feel like, I mean, it was so blatantly not a foul, in my opinion. Like, they could have easily overturned that. But anyway, you know, they got away with that completely, West Ham. And as you say, we could have had a penalty a few minutes later. That was also quite frustrating. But I also felt late in that half, we did start to create opportunities, like not clear-cut opportunities, but Kudus was getting more joy down the right. I remember there was a goal-mouth scramble, which led to, I think, Van de Ven and Romero both having shot blocked, like, near the goal. Like, we were getting closer. And then, obviously, right at the beginning of the second half, I was expecting maybe a change at half-time. Because I thought, is it quite working? Maybe we can change something. I thought the dynamic between Simmons and Spence wasn't quite right, because I feel like with Simmons cutting inside, you need Spence to kind of overlap and create that width. But when he's also cutting inside as well, I felt like it wasn't quite right, that dynamic down that side. Yeah.
Well, you look at it, Sim, there was that one point, I don't know if you remember, when Simmons had cut in and he passed the ball wide where he would have been if he'd been on the left. But obviously he must have been thinking Spence would be on the overlap, and there was no one there. So obviously that play went dead. Like they both come back off international break on what, Wednesday, Thursday. So they had two. And it's
Simmons' debut, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that will grow. If we do keep with Spence at left back and not Destiny and Spence on the right,
and also if we do keep with Simmons on the left,
and that as well, yeah. And I think he's an option to play on the left, but I think ideally I'd love to see him again at number 10, where he can really heavily influence the game. But like you said, we grew and grew, and there were those goal-mouth scrambles, and again the set pieces have been. I mean, they were such an issue over previous seasons. And then obviously it worked very, very well with Conte when we had that set-piece coach. And now this one comes in, and you can see that the work they're doing is paying off, because the delivery. Yeah. The delivery, it may not be getting on the end of them all the time, but the delivery is right on the money.
And we looked dangerous from all of them. It looked like we could score from all those set-pieces.
Exactly.
Even when we didn't. Like, we were looking very, very dangerous from pretty much every corner. Every corner, you got that sense like this could be another chance, and that's exactly what you need, and that's really positive. And obviously that's where the first goal came from, and it was clearly something that the team worked on, because I think after obviously Simons whips it in, Sarri's completely through the back post. He heads it into the back across the goal and into the back of the net. Brilliant header from him. Brilliantly taken from Simons. But clearly it's something that they worked on, because all the coaching team after the game, after the goal, were hugging each other, congratulating each other. And there's also a picture, which we'll go through after, but there's a picture of Sarr and I think, I can't remember who else, but Sarr and a few other players. After the goal, they point to the coach. Not Frank, I think whoever the set-piece coach is. They point to the coach on the touchline, basically saying, this was you, like you did that, you made that. So that is obviously really encouraging that they're doing stuff on the training ground when it comes to set pieces. That's paying off big time at the moment.
It was just before I talk about the goal, I have to say, not only do we look better as night and day attacking wise, defensively, we look so much more organised. I mean, we used to be at a point where we were saying if set pieces against us in a difficult area, it's like, oh, here we go, it's a goal. Now we're keep the line. We've got that locked down or so far this season. But I was watching Match Today yesterday, and like we were saying before we started, how enjoyable was it to be able to sit down and watch Match Today again? Ashley Williams, who I think is a really, really good pundit, actually, and Shay Given were showing that goal and saying West Ham knew it was an issue in the first half, so you thought they would have sat down and said, right, we've got to change this and mix it up. Well, they didn't, and they paid for it, didn't they? So a very, very deep corner coming in from Xavi Simons. And a fantastic header by Pape Matar to give us the goal.
Yeah, and that's obviously was great reward for how dangerous we were looking from set pieces. And obviously, West Ham have struggled to defend set pieces all season, so that was always an avenue where we could get them. And then obviously, 10 minutes later, they get a man sent off with Souček, and obviously we score to make it 2-0. But in terms of the red card, he can't have any complaints, can he? It was
No.
horrible challenge. You can see where Palhinha, his sock gets absolutely torn to shreds, like near his knee. I think Souček knew as well. You could see in his reaction, he was disappointed in himself. He's lucky the contact wasn't worse, because if it was, Palhinha could have been in big trouble. Thankfully, he's okay. But in terms of red cards, it doesn't get much clearer than that, does it?
No, I mean, first of all, thank God Palhinha had the big shin pads on, not like the Jack Grealish small ones. Because if it was that, God knows what would have happened. But do you know what? We've given the referee a bit of stick for the decisions. He was in the perfect position to see that immediately, wasn't he? He saw, and the red card was like out immediately.
Yeah, no hesitation,
It was like literally straight out as he was walking. And as you said, Souček's, as soon as he made the tackle, you could tell by their reactions, and it was completely the right decision. It was an awful tackle.
Yeah, and then literally a minute later, we go 2-0 up, and it's game over, isn't it, at that point? Once it's 2-0 and they're down to 10 men, that problem pretty much kills the game. But you have to say, what a goal. What a goal. Reminiscent, I was saying, of that famous Van Persie goal in the World Cup that he scored against Spain. When it was
very much, actually, yeah.
It was quite similar to that goal, and it was just delightful. And obviously, the ping from Mero is fantastic, but the run from Bergvall and the that looped header, it's just so, it's a goal I've watched time and time again. It's such a great goal and a great finish, and all round team play from Mero to Bergvall is absolutely astonishing. And I don't know how. I mean, I've watched it so many times. I don't know how he gets so much power on it, Bergvall, from such a distance to get the header in from there, just to loop it over the keeper on the stretch as well. It is an absolute phenomenal finish.
Well, it is. Well, first of all, you mentioned about the Van Persie goal. What I will say, first thing that gave me is memories of Toby Alderweireld to Dele Alli, that combination that was so profitable for us. Like you said, that header, he's got to generate all of the power from his neck and get the power on the ball, because it was a floated pass. But first of all, the pass is magnificent. He sees Bergvall's run, and Bergvall has obviously seen the gap. But for Bergvall to get in that position, realise the keeper's coming out for it, and have the speed of thought process to a looping header, it was a fantastic header, because he had to do all the work to generate the power. Fantastic. Because I would say, if I had to give Bergvall's attributes, I wouldn't have said heading would come in the top 4 or 5 in the things, and that was a fantastic header.
It's funny you say that. I think actually he might be, in terms of like winning aerial duels. I remember last season there was a period where he ranked quite highly when it came to that. So, and it's hard to forget, easy to forget, that the guy's only 19. Like, because I know he's been a fixture of our team for quite a while, for the last 6 months, and he plays like a guy well beyond his years. But he's not even 20 yet. The quality in Bergvall is astonishing. Yep. I know it was only his first Premier League goal, funnily enough, but yeah, I mean, yesterday was another example of what a talent we have on our hands. And we were saying yesterday, when we're picking our midfield right for Tuesday or going forward, it's so hard to think about it's a great problem to have, but you look at our midfield, like Bentancur, Palhinha, you think, those two have to start. Sarr's in, brilliant form. You add Bergvall into that, who was our starting midfielder last season. You add Xavi Simons, who's obviously a new signing. Gray didn't even make the squad yesterday. How the hell is Frank supposed to... obviously it's a good problem, so it's not like how does he pick a midfield, because I guess like anyone he picks, you don't mind, but it's like, what do we even have a first choice midfield when you consider all those options in the form they're in?
Well, you got to look at this one, and then Kulusevski when he comes back,
and Kulusevski and Maddison,
There's still, Maddison, I think we can forget to, like, obviously he might make an appearance season, March, April, whatever. But like you said, when we're looking at this midfield, how good is it to have? Bentancur was on the bench, didn't even get on. He should be raring to go on Tuesday. And you look at it, you keep looking at this now. We were saying in this when we did the predicted lineup, the rotation's going to be key for anything we do this season with the amount of games we're playing. And I think it's wonderful for, do you know what we've said before? We've had it so long that certain players know they're going to play, whether they're on form or not, because they stick. Well, now this is keeping everyone on their toes. This is going to make everyone train that little bit harder. And as you said, any midfield combination you look at it right now, even, I mean, remember when we started against Burnley, it was Gray, Sarr and Bergvall.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, what's he doing? People were like, what's he doing? That midfield. And last season and season before, our midfield have looked like Moses parted the Red Sea, and it's straight on our defence. And then you add the solidity that Palhinha has given us, which has allowed the defenders to one goal conceded because the midfield is in shape. Palhinha is there to be what we've wanted for a long time. And like you said, I don't know who our first choice midfield is.
And we still got Basuma. I didn't even remember him. He's still there, still knocking around.
Yeah, I don't see him figuring much though. Well, I can't remember. Was Basuma was omitted from the Champions League team, wasn't he?
Yes, Champions League. Yes.
Yeah.
Look, we'll see if he finds a move in the latter stages of the. I think the Turkish window is up.
Closed Friday, Ben. Sim.
It closed.
It closed on Friday the 12th.
So he can't move then.
He's not moving.
He's not moving, so he's going to be here. So you never know. Sometimes it's funny how these things work. Sometimes someone like Basuma, he gets forced to stay, and then all of a sudden we get a couple of injuries. Maybe he's in the team. You never know.
Maybe.
And I think Frank will like Basuma, to be honest, in a way. I think actually it could be good. But look, it's a different conversation from a different time.
Yeah.
Well, when we're talking about our midfielders, you know how sometimes I'll put up a predicted lineup and I'll get some comments. In the comments, they'll say, "Oh, you can't drop Sarr. You have to play Sarr in the form he's in. Oh, you have to play this one, that one." We literally have like 5 players who you have to play. Like you have to play all of them at the moment, and it's really really great. But it's like, in a weird way, it's good and bad because the only bad part of it is like whoever doesn't play. Like, if we have a bad game, everyone's going to say, oh, he should have played because he's in great form. How, like, if Sarr gets rested on Tuesday and we lose, everyone's going to say, oh, Sarr's in such great form. How can you not play him? Like, that's like the bad element to it. But obviously, it's brilliant that we have all 5 midfielders in such great form, and it just means that whoever Frank picks, you can be confident that they can get the job done. And I think we have such great options in there. That's what I was saying when the window closed. I think on midfield we've got so many brilliant options. Each option I'm excited about, and I think Frank is probably, considering what he had before, he must be absolutely he's like a kid in a candy store when it comes to who he can pick in midfield compared to what he had at Brentford. And I think every combination, apart from obviously the Bournemouth one where it didn't do quite well, I think they performed quite well in that centre. And yeah, it's very, very exciting, those midfield options. Obviously, just to touch on the end of the game, we got referred through Van de Ven with another little good piece of play from Bergvall in the box. And it felt like after 3-0, it was like a friendly match after that. We were just playing the ball around, happy to basically... They were playing for damage limitation.
Yep.
It wasn't like we stopped going for goals, but it was like... We didn't really care if we did get more goals or not. It was like we were happy to play it around the back, and if West Ham weren't going to come and press us, then we're just happy to keep the ball. Apart from probably Kudus, who's the only one who tried his might to get on the score sheet in the last stages of the game. It's like it reminds me sometimes when you got that kid in the playground who you give the ball to, and he just always is selfish, and he just tries to score all the time. And when there are loads of players wide open, he's like, no, I'm taking the shot, I need to score, and kept screwing up. That kind of was what happened with Kudus. A couple of chances late on, which I thought maybe he was going to score, but didn't happen for him, unfortunately. The last 20 minutes was a bit of a non-event, wasn't it?
Well, Joe, before we talk about what it reminded me of with Kudus at the end is, do you remember when we were trying to get Sonny in the goals against Norwich to win the Golden Boot?
Yeah.
I was just like, give the ball to Sonny, give it to Sonny. That volley that he hit true, but it went, was it over or wide? One of the two. Yeah. But then he had those 2 chances, and obviously it was a great save for the first one. The second one, it just got under his feet. It would have been the cherry on top of the cake, wouldn't it? But the third goal came. Great finish from Van de Ven, by the way. to sweep it in. That's a centre back.
Yeah, you see it on his right foot as well. If you watch the replay,
Yeah.
the way it curled on the ground into the corner, like it was like a striker's finish.
It really was. It was a lovely finish. Obviously, we've seen he's got goals like he did against Nottingham. He can pitch in with those goals. And like I said, what I did like about it is at 3-0, like you said, we're kind of job done. Let's not just keep going and go. Let's save our energy. Let's consolidate. Game's done. Let's lock up the back line. And just, if we get an opportunity, we do it. But there's no need to keep going full steam ahead. Job done. Which is why, like we were saying, I don't think we got out of second gear. I really think after we got the 3 goals, it was like, right, job done. Let's just conserve the energy and move on to the next one, which is exactly what we want to hear.
Yeah,
And see.
for sure. And you know, in that kind of game, I know, like, as a fan watching the game, I wanted to, I wanted to see Spurs. You know, let's go embarrass West Ham. Let's get 5. Let's get 6. Let's really take it to them. But at the end of the day, if they're going for damage limitation, there's no point just forcing the issue. You don't when you don't need to. If they've given up, then you might as well just conserve your energy. You've got a big game on Tuesday, which is a very big game, by the way, against Villarreal. They're doing quite well in La Liga. They're 4th in the league at the moment, I can see. And that, you know, and we need to get off to a winning start at home in the Champions League. That'll be absolutely fantastic. So I think it makes a lot of sense how we approach that last 20 minutes. I don't have a big issue with it. And I just think at the end of the day, it was a good day at the office. It was a fantastic day at the office, I should say. You know, winning 3-0 away in a London derby, clean sheet, the way it went was phenomenal. What I would say is if I'm looking at it through the lens of we had the Bournemouth game and then we have this game, have we improved? Like, have we learned lessons from the Bournemouth game? Is there massive improvements? I would still say the jury's still out on that, only because for the first hour, I would say, before the red card, really, I mean, I don't think it was fantastic. We scored from the set piece, which was +1 up. And then obviously the game, within 1 minute, the game was over. They got a red card and we got the second goal and the game's dead at that point. Like, the game was lost from West Ham's point of view in that 1 minute because they were in the game before that moment. It wasn't like it was all Tottenham. Like, before that red card, it was, I wouldn't say even, we were the better team, but they were definitely in the game. You wouldn't say, oh, we're definitely winning. Like, I think Bowen had that shot, didn't he, just after 1-0, which Vicario had to save. So I think there's still a lot to work on, for sure. First half was still a bit stodgy. We did grow into it and start to kind of wrestle control, but still, I still see a few problems in build-up. I still see a few problems in progressing up the pitch. That's not to say that, you know, look, at the end of the day, this is Frank's 4th game, and he's still learning about his players. He doesn't even know his players fully. Sorry, one.
Bless you, sir.
Apologies. He's still learning about his players. He's learning what system's best for them. Simons is just made his debut. Mawani hasn't even played yet. You know what? Palhinha is only his 3rd game for Tottenham, or 4th game.
In the Premier League, yeah.
So I shouldn't expect him to be perfect, of course. I'm not expecting to watch Tottenham 4 games under Frank and be this, like, perfect team. I'm just have to acknowledge that we've had some issues in build-up and progressing the ball. I think even, like, against Burnley we did, and we had to rely on a bit of some special moments from Kudus to win that game. Bournemouth, we had major struggles and obviously ended up losing that game. And then against West Ham, I still think those struggles are there, albeit set pieces got us over the line, and obviously the red card helped a lot, in my opinion, to just make sure that we won that game comfortably. I don't know if we win that game as comfortably as we do if it wasn't for the red card, is my point. But I think we still probably win it, but I don't know if it's as comfortable as it was. So that's all I'm saying when I acknowledge what I'm saying. I don't think I can sit here and say it was a scintillating performance. We were unbelievable from start to finish and we took them to the sword and it was like just this incredible display. And that's not what I saw. But, you know, I think the fact that we're not quite there yet and we're still in a work in progress under Frank and we're capable of comfortably going to West Ham and winning 3-0 while still in that process, I think is a credit to Frank.
I think it is, mate. I really do. So first of all, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, if I had said to any Spurs fan at before the game that we'll win 3-0, playing the way we did, score the goal, whatever, and everything happened, every single Spurs fan was like, I'll take that all day long. I'll take it all day long for obvious reasons. After coming off the Bournemouth game, which Frank got wrong, openly admit that.
He admitted it. I don't know if you saw the interview.
He admitted, which I love, mate. Joe,
Yeah.
I love about him. He takes accountability. Yep, I got it wrong. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
He said, I watched it back and I got it wrong. That's what he said.
Exactly. Which is he'll learn from it. But we went from, I think, what was it, until the 55th or 65th minute, we hadn't even had a shot on goal against Bournemouth. So yesterday, 64% possession, 14 attempts on goal, 5 on target, scored from 3 of them. Like I said, there's still progression work in midfield that needs to improve and get ready. But if you can win games this way and take the 3 points, you're going to take it all day, isn't it? If you can win this convincingly without playing well, just think what we can do when we are playing well. And once Frank does have the full team back, and obviously minus Kulusevski and Madders, who are long-term absentees, then we've got some real options, some real. And remember, this is the first time he played 4-3-3. So he's played 4-2-3-1 twice, and he's gone. No, he hasn't gone back 3. Has he gone back 3 in the league?
No, he hasn't.
He did it against PSG.
PSG is the only time he's done it, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's getting the formations locked down, and he'll take something from each one and go, right, maybe if I play a 4-3-3, I need X, Y, Z to come in and do something. But it's just wonderful to see. And 3-0 away at West Ham, I'll have it all day long. I won't have anything negative to say because it's a great performance. We've struggled there recently. Job done.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with that. And people think like, just if I point these things out, it means I'm being like negative against Frank, or I'm not happy with the win and how it transpired. I'm delighted, and I think we deserve the win. I do think 3-0 probably flattered us a bit, but it doesn't matter. We still won, and we won comfortably and deservedly. And we did play well. I thought second half we did play really well, and I thought we could. The way we managed the game when they had 10 men, sometimes those things can be tricky, and we made pretty light work of it, and it was pretty comfortable at that point. And we were 1-0 up anyway, even before they went down to 10 men. So it wasn't like that the 10 men is what won us the game. I just think it helped a lot. But I just all I'm saying is, like, if I'm assessing the performance overall, I just have to be honest and say, yeah, we still have problems progressing the ball. And I think we have had those problems under Frank so far since he's come here. We've made up for it in other facets, which is fantastic. If you've got struggles with progression and stuff, and you're making up with it in set pieces and all that kind of stuff, that's great. I'm just saying, down the line we can't keep relying on set pieces. You're going to have to improve. You're going to have to fix that issue. And it's only 4 games in. There are going to be issues. We're not going to be a perfect team after 4 games. So. But all I'm saying is that's just what I'm saying, that there's an issue there that still needs to be sorted, and that's fine. Yep. But at the moment, we're making up for it in other avenues, and that's brilliant. And the fact that we've tightened those things up, and the fact as well, defensively, 1 goal conceded after 4 games is fantastic. Defensively, we're in a much better place.
Yep.
And I think that was probably Frank's number one thing coming in, which is, to be fair, what he said, didn't he? Because, and also what we've heard from a lot of players in pre-season. A lot of the players have been asked about what Frank's training has been like, and he said apparently he's been saying the big focus is been on getting clean sheets. We need to be getting clean sheets and making sure we're tying up that defence. And given where the defence has been over the last couple of years, I think that makes sense. I think coming in and fixing that element of the pitch of the team, and then after that's kind of which seems to be in a much better place, and then you start working on perfecting how you play with the ball in the attack and all that kind of stuff, and that's also going to come. Just like when Ange came in, it was kind of like let's work on getting us playing football, and that's what we saw like when he first came in. Although kind of we never corrected the defence, but his first clear priority was let's get us playing football and in possession, and that's what we're going to work on initially. Frank's kind of doing the opposite because we need a lot of work on that defence. And he's kind of, all right, let's get that defence worked on first, get that tightened up, and then everything else will come. And I think it's a process, isn't it? He's only been here 2 months, and it's been a brilliant start.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, I'm glad you brought Ange into the equation, because I was going to do it anyway, because I've seen comments when I've done my YouTube clips and you've clipped it up and everything going, well, we beat West Ham, they're relegation fodder, they're crap, they're this. Well, last season, 1 point off of Leicester, a loss to Ipswich, Everton, we were losing these games. These games last season, we were losing. Now we're winning them and keeping clean sheets. Like you said, and I agree with you, Sim, when Ange came in, it was going back from Conte ball, and it was the fans wanted more expansive, and Ange definitely delivered that. But like you said, defensively, we were a shambles. Now we've got 1 goal in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, and we're winning these games that we should have lost or could have lost last season. And like you said, if you don't concede, you don't lose, do you? And that's
true.
That's the first part of that's the main aim of football. So I am delighted. Like you said, there's going to be a lot more to come. Look how we're all talking about how Brentford was so aggressive in the beginning of games last season, and how they were scoring early. Well, he'd been there for 4 years. He'd built that team up, so they knew what to do. This is just a start, Thomas Frank. So it's fantastic times ahead. I know it's only 4 games, but we're at the top of the league, not the lower league or lower parts of it. 3 wins, and things are good. Things are very, very good, and we're only going to get stronger.
Absolutely. I think if this is just Frank in a work in progress, I'd love to see what the final finished product looks like, because it could be very scary, and we have so much talent, and it's very, very exciting. Brilliant win yesterday. Nice to rub it in the faces of the West Ham fans as well, albeit part of me just feels sorry for them now. Like, they've had so much pain and suffering. Yesterday, I think by the 60th minute, the stadium was pretty much empty.
Yep.
Another heavy defeat. I mean, do you feel sorry for West Ham at this point?
Nope.
Or do you're not at all?
No, but you know what it is as well? What makes me laugh, I've seen loads of videos from West Ham fans when they're leaving. That ground is so hard to get out of. You see them walking, it takes an eternity to walk out. So you just see the gangways, it takes ages. That stadium emptied. That stadium absolutely emptied. It was great for Kudus to enjoy that performance and enjoy that win. And yeah, I've got no don't feel sorry for West Ham at all. At all.
Yeah, I speak to obviously Nicky Hawkins quite a lot in our London Czars, and he's just been so down for so long. Like, there's only so much more I can enjoy his pain. You know what I mean? It's like he's been in so much pain, for so long. I'm starting to feel bad for him. But look, West Ham in deep trouble, I think, with another heavy defeat. And yeah, they weren't much, were they, West Ham? If we're just touching on them for a moment. I know they kind of gave us a game for about 45 minutes, but it wasn't exactly like they were playing great. And also, a bit like what we were saying in the preview, like, as soon as they conceded a goal, they just crumbled, didn't they? And they're very fragile.
Incredibly so. And that's one thing you don't normally associate with West Ham. Or back in I remember players like Julian Dix that would never ever stand for this kind of performance. They did play some nice football to begin with. They really did. There were some nice passing moves. They like you said, breaking the lines. I think Somerville looks like a tidy little player. He was causing some issues, but as soon as that goal did go in, as you said, the writing was on the wall. I think if they hadn't gone down to 10 men, still think we would have won the game and got at least another goal. But that's hindsight, and West Ham need to get their act together.
Yeah, agreed. All right, but that is your match review of the game yesterday. Let's go into player ratings. Before we do that, actually, let's just quickly touch on a couple of super chats before we get into player ratings. First one is from Malware. It says, 3 clean sheets in 4 games, 6 all of last season. Chew fucking chew. Palhinha and Frank is a big factor to this.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen, Brian, the discourse around Palhinha on social media.
Yep, I have.
A lot of people, suggesting, is he as good as we think he is? A lot of people saying, no, he's an elite defensive midfielder. Like, where do you stand on him? Are you do you think he's up there with the very best in the league, or do you think he can be down the line improved on?
Okay, so first of all, big up to Malware. Love that man. So we've been saying for ages we need a number 6 to hit what, and when we said that, we haven't said we need a deep playing playmaker. We've said we need a destroyer. We've said we need someone to protect that defence and have it on lockdown to help Romero and Van der Ven or whoever it may be. Well, you won't find better than Palhinha at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You saw when he was in the Premier League, he's like 80, 90 tackles ahead of everyone. Mm-hmm. He is so decisive. I've seen people going on about his passing. He's not here to pass. I think his passing's been good. Maybe not as good as his tackling and winning the ball. But it's like I said, when we signed Wilson Palacios, it was to do exactly what Palhinha's doing. We needed someone to protect the defence. And that, like Malware said, 3 clean sheets compared to the 6 last season in 4 games. And that defence looks untouchable at the moment because of the shape and what he is bringing to the football team. He hasn't come here to be spraying 80, 90-yard passes or vision and taking players on. He is on there to make sure that defence is protected, and my God, is he doing it.
I think, he's come here to win duels, and that's what he is. He's an absolute duel winner. And I don't know if you saw some of Frank's pre-match speeches, in pre-season, and what's his big focus? Win your duels, win your second duels, win those duels. And that's obviously what Palhinha is known for, and that's his biggest asset. What I would say is, I think the point a lot of people make is you look at the very, very top teams. You look at Arsenal, City, Liverpool, PSG, even Newcastle, Bayern Munich, any of the real top teams, and you look at who their number 6s are, who their defensive midfielders are, they are all players who are very comfortable on the ball. You look at either a Zubamendi or Rice, to Rodri, Bruno Guimaraes, Gravenberch, Vitinha for PSG. All these players are players who are good at defensively, but also very comfortable picking up the ball for centre-backs, progressing the ball. Now, I think the worry people have is Palhinha on that level, on the ball? And if he's not, that's fine. But does that mean down the line, if we really want to progress as a team, does he have to be upgraded at some point? Is that the point?
Well, first of all, he's 30 years old. So even if we keep him on, which based on these performances, I really hope we do, and then we can bring in someone else, or Archie Gray is the heir to the front, whatever happens. The teams you mentioned are all the big teams that are regularly competing and could go out and say, right, we need this. We needed for this season someone that can come and do exactly what he's doing. We've got players that can take players on, or got the engine and can drive forward. And obviously, when Xavi Simons is playing centrally, you'd imagine it would be get the ball to Xavi, like we saw in the training videos. Go create, do what you do. We needed someone to come in after 2 horrific seasons defending. And let's face it, the last season of Conte even wasn't the best of defending, like the Southampton game. We needed someone to come in and be a protective shield to that back line, and if they do get through, let the defenders mop it up. And he is doing everything. We forget what other teams are doing right now and what they've got and what they need with all being comfortable on the ball. That's wonderful for them. We needed someone to come in and sit in front and say, you're not getting past me. And if you do, these guys will pick it up because I'm going to make your life a living hell. And that's what he's coming to do. And he is doing it flawlessly at the moment. And may not be 10 out of 10 performances, but like Malware said, 3 clean sheets in 4 games and 1 goal conceded. He's got a big part to play in that.
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Another super chat. I can't read the name, but it just says Coys of the White Heart. Big up to you. Not sure what language that name's in, but big up to you. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's get into the player ratings. for yesterday's 3-0 win.
Yep.
Start with Vicario. I gave him a 7, you gave him a 6. We'll start with Vicario, Sammy. I gave him a 7, you gave him a 6. Yeah, look, I thought made a couple of decent saves, wasn't overly tested. Nothing which... He didn't have to do anything which was overly out of his comfort zone. Just thought it was a nice, easy game for him. I mean, all the saves he made were pretty comfortable, weren't they? But I think everything he was asked to do, he did.
Yeah, I think I actually meant to give him a 7 on reflection, but I'll stick with, we'll use the 6. I think, like you said, thankfully, he didn't really have a lot to do. There was, like you said, I think the most troubling save for him was when Van der Ven had that mix-up with him.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
yeah, I did mention that, yeah. Bloody hell.
He had that was very, very fortunate. And then obviously straight after we scored, when they had that opportunity and he pushed it wide for the corner, he's been solid this season, hasn't he? I mean, he had a couple of moments where we were passed out the back, and I'm getting very nervous when he's playing it out the back. But he didn't really have to make, like Bournemouth, he was outstanding. He was absolutely outstanding and had so much to do. And yesterday he hardly had anything to do.
Yeah, it's true. Very, very little. Next up, Pedro Porro. Both gave him 6. Yeah, it was a tough day for him, especially in that first half. I felt Diouf was giving him a real tough time in that first half.
Yep.
He was getting down the left, getting crosses in. And also what I was worried about Porro was he didn't really stop many of them. A lot of them were getting in without too much of his say-so, in my opinion. So I think he could have done a lot better, but I did think he shored himself up in the second half. Diouf was getting a lot less of the game. Obviously, they were down to 10 men as well. But I did think he improved a lot in the second half, became more of a threat. And I thought some of his crossing was pretty good as well, putting some decent crosses. So ended up having a decent game, but definitely he'll look back and think, yeah, Diouf gave him a tough ride in that first half.
Yeah, he did. I mean, attacking-wise, he was back to being... on the better side of himself. Like I say, he was dangerous with his crossing, getting forward to be there for the team. Defensively, it was just, you know what, I think it was his positioning. It's his starting position, or when he's been up forward. This is why when we were saying in the predicted lineup, I think there may be games where Spence, especially with Destiny back, may be suited on the right wing, especially with rotation as well. Remember, he played 180 minutes for Spain, came back, and then straight in. Porro will be back to his normal self and being as good as a defender as he can be. But I think there are certain games where Spence may be better suited to play the right. And that's not because Porro's being bad. It's to combat the strength of the opponent's left winger that we might need him to lock it down. So all in all, Porro's a key member of the team in my eyes, and just defensively was a little bit lacking yesterday.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I feel like, again, he wasn't helped much by Kudus. I felt Diouf was just getting a free run down that left-hand side and not much help. But yeah, Porro, both gave him a 6. Romero, what a performance. Both giving him 9s. Phenomenal. I thought, for me, man of the match. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I thought even in the first half when we were struggling a bit, he was the one holding up some sort of standards for us. And he was the one kind of still playing those beautiful passes in between the lines, and defensively pretty faultless as well. And that assist for Bergvall's goal was just to die for. What a assist by him. It was a phenomenal display from Kudus. I just think he was pretty faultless from start to finish. And when he's in this kind of mood, he's such a... Like, there's not many centre-backs who are exciting to watch, but he's one of them.
You know what? We all thought he'd be on the way out at the end of the season. He signed a new contract. He's got the armband. He looks like a complete... He looks so calm. Could have had a goal, obviously, an assist. He is leading like a captain. It was a fantastic performance from him, and it's hard to think. Do you know what? I mean, if he'd got the goal as well, if it's still, I think it would have been a 10 performance, wouldn't it? But he is... Which
he did, by the way, and he got ruled out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he'd got it, then that would have been... If it stayed, it would have been... but it was a captain's performance. That partnership with him and Mickey is getting stronger and stronger, and we know how good that partnership can be when they're both on. And like I said, just a captain's example.
Yeah, what a performance from Kudus when he's in this form. you know, it's amazing how I still see people say, it's not really Tottenham fans, it's mainly rival fans saying, oh, he's this, he's that, he's not that good. I mean, if you think that, you clearly don't watch him. He is just a phenomenal defender. Next up, Van der Ven. We also both gave him a 9. Also, pretty faultless display. Defensively, fantastic. I thought he drove the ball up quite well, and there were some moments as well where Bowen threatened to get in down the right, and he was just shutting it down with ferocity, which he does. Got his goal, brilliant finish on his right foot as well. Interestingly, I don't know if you saw Thomas Frank after the game. So he was giving him a hug and a talking to. And he was given a hug and talking to, and he was asked why that is. And what's it called? He was asked why that is, and he said he scored from a set piece, but it's all well and good him scoring like that from a set piece, but I want him to score a header. Next goal he has to score is a header. He wants him to start scoring headers because he's so tall. Has he ever scored a header for us? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He should be much better in the air, and I think Frank was joking around that he needs to get better in the air. So hopefully we start seeing that from Van der Ven. But yeah, another also really good display.
You know what? When we started this season and we weren't playing obviously the high line, which suits Mickey down to the ground, but obviously wasn't helping his hamstrings. There was a huge conversation about will he be as good as a defender when he's not continuously making those last-ditch runs and saving the day. He's been wonderful. He has been. That partnership is building. He's getting forward. That, like I said, a right foot finish. And I actually think defensively he's got better at headers. Obviously, he's not done it. I think he is going from strength to strength. And then on the few occasions where he did have to put the afterburners on, he did. And having that in our defensive ranks and not seeing it all the time, and just knowing it's there is another huge plus about this team. And that partnership is just building and building and building. And like I said, with Palhinha in front of them, it's making their job a lot easier and saving their energy for when they do need it.
Absolutely. Next up, Jed Spence. I mean, this is not right because I said 7, not 4. So I think we both gave him a 7.
You're harsh, Sim. You're harsh.
I didn't give him a 4. I've got proof of it. Don't come after me. Yeah, look, I thought he played well. I still think when it's a bit frustrating when we're attacking down that side and he's on his right. He's right-footed and he's asked to overlap. And when he gets into the box, I feel like he's not comfortable on his left, and then he's always trying to get a cross in on his right foot, maybe outside of the foot, and it's a lot harder to do. There aren't really the angles for it as well. So I still feel, for me, attacking-wise, Udogie gives us more, but defensively, I mean, Bowen was locked up, let's be honest. I mean, Bowen barely had a touch. Defensively, very, very solid. Credit to him. I think he did some good things on the overlap. He's always an option, isn't he? He's always just running into the space. And I think stamina, physical, brilliant. Just a bit frustrating when he gets on the ball. Like when let's say he's overlapping and Simmons plays him in, you're just never confident he's actually going to create something, Spence, and that's because of. I think that's just because of the angle he's at. If he was maybe on the right, I'd be a bit more confident he could like whip something across the face of goal or create an opportunity. But so anyway, look, I gave him a 7. Pretty decent display from him.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say much more than what you just said. I think there was a chance. What he did do well with the overlap, obviously he's not going to be able to cross it in, but he won a couple of fouls in promising areas
and corners to be fair,
from holding the ball up. So that's obviously meaning our set pieces come into play, and obviously that is now a threat. So you're right, he needs to get a little bit more comfortable on his left foot for crossing the ball, but defensively very, very sound again.
Next up, João Palhinha, both gave him 7s. Good display from him. I think kept it simple, wasn't too adventurous. I think obviously just combative in the middle, winning those duels, making sure that West Ham weren't getting an advantage in that area. Obviously, he was involved in Souček being sent off, nicking the ball ahead of him, pouncing on a loose ball from Souček, and obviously that led to Souček committing a very bad foul on him. I think he did his job. He just kept it simple, and also played a nice pass into Bergvall for the 3rd goal as well, which obviously goes unnoticed. So, good display.
Yeah, I was going to give him an 8 because of that pass, but I was like, wait a minute, let me just be a bit, drop it down, just or keep it at the 7. Like we said when we were talking about the super chat, he does what it says on the tin. He does, and a lot of it is the hard graft, or people say the donkey work, to just get the ball and distribute it and and break down attacks. And he's doing that, as we said, perfectly. And it's been a. Do you know what? After the Bayern Munich game where he made his debut, and people were like, "Oh, he looks a bit." He's just growing from strength to strength, and you know what you're going to get with him. But yeah, 7.
Pup Mate Sarr, 8 all round. Obviously got his goal from the corner. I thought it was another good display from him yet again. I thought he, as usual, he's just so combative in the middle, but he's become such a goal threat. If you think about his start to the season, pre-season he banged in, I think it was 2 goals against Wickham. He got a goal against Arsenal in the North London derby. Then you go to the Premier League, got an assist against Burnley. He was heavily involved in the 2 goals we scored against Man City. And now in this game, he's got another goal. Like, he has become such a goal threat in these ever since Frank's come in. I think Frank's doing some amazing work with him. And obviously it was a brilliant header from him to give us the lead. And he's the guy's in such fine form. I just hope he keeps getting better and better. And hopefully we're starting to see him really fulfill that potential we all know he's got.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's starting to do it for club and country, isn't he? With the goals.
That's a good point. 2 goals over the international break as well.
It's also his birthday today, so happy birthday, Sarr, man.
What was he, 23 or 22?
23 today.
23.
Yeah. Only reason I know that, I'm not stalking him. They said it'll match the day. So the day before, they scored. They said, the day before his birthday, the perfect present. But this is a guy going from strength to strength to strength. And I will say again, when we're talking about the things that we need to improve with Frank, and it's only just the beginning, just look when we said about how he develops players and how he gets them. Pup Mate Sarr, I think, has been the most improved player at this football club since he's come. He is in a rich vein of form, adding goals and assists, which is not something you'd really think of him in previous seasons gone by. Even with Conte and everything, he's adding this to his game. We all know he's got the engine and the energy, and he's just adding goals and assists to his game. So it was a fantastic performance from him.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Pup Sarr. Next up, Lucas Bergvall, 9s all round. Brilliant display from him. What a talent this kid is. Comes back into the starting 11 and really shows us what we were missing. I thought, obviously, the goal was absolutely world-class from him. Yep. His header, fantastic. The way he was stretching, had to use every neck muscle he had to kind of guide it over Hermansen. The accuracy as well to lob it just under the crossbar, phenomenal. Brilliant assist as well. I don't know if he meant a pass, but still, he had like 3 players around him, somehow able to keep the ball away from all of them and find Van der Ven in the box and lay it off for 3-0. But it wasn't just that. I thought overall as well, he's had a brilliant game. Like, he had some really lovely moments in the middle of the park, striding forward as he does. There are moments where he's gliding across the pitch like he's wearing ice skates. It's really phenomenal to watch, and he was able to put in a few tackles in as well. So he doesn't shy away from his defensive responsibilities. I just thought it was a near perfect midfield display. I thought he was in fantastic mood. I think at the beginning of the game he wasn't at his best, but once he grew into it, he obviously got man of the match from Sky Sports. For me, probably just second to Romero, but phenomenal display. And it's so great to see him back in that kind of form and mood, because didn't have the best pre-season, but it looks like his signs are clearly of him getting back to his best.
I agree with Sky. He was my man of the match. Goal, assist, and like I said, the first 10-15 he looked a little bit shaky, but then he just grew and he had an influence on the game. And like you said with him gliding, do you know what? I one of the things I love about him is how he receives the ball. He knows where everyone is. It's like he scans the whole pitch whilst the ball's waiting to be received to him, so he knows where everyone is. He put in a very, very solid performance. Like I said, grew into the game. Isn't just about going forward. He's doing the work going back. And even though you said, like, you're right, I don't think the pass was meant for Van der Ven. The way he received the ball on the turn, went in straight into the danger area, had players around him, was trying to get away from them. Thankfully, the luck was on our side and the ball broke to Van der Ven. but it was a fantastic performance from him. Very easily my man of the match.
Yeah, it's great to have him back in that form, because I feel like this season he hasn't been talked enough about. People forget how good he was last season. I feel when people are talking about our midfield options, how good or they are, like, people forget this kid is seriously special. Like, he is a special talent, and to do what he did last season was phenomenal. And I think hopefully he's going to improve on that. First Premier League goal as well, so congratulations to him.
Yep. Sim, can I just add something very quickly on that? Very quick. What I will add, last season as well, I think players like Bergvall and Gray got a lot more game time because of the injuries. Mm-hmm. And then they showed, and Bergvall especially showed how good he can be, or what we've got on our hands, but was playing mainly because of the injuries, but then fall to place. Now he's doing it on merit, because like I said, we don't know our first choice midfield. We don't know what the selection is going to be. So when he gets an opportunity, he needs to take it. And yesterday, he took that opportunity.
Next up, debut for Xavi Simons, 7s all round. Yeah, I don't think he set the world alight. I think it was a debut to be excited about. I think he did really well for on the left-hand side. I was pretty happy with him. I think he obviously got a really nice assist from the corner, which I know it's hard to give too much credit, because a lot of people just swing in corners and hope someone gets on the end of it. But clearly he aimed for the back post, didn't he?
Yep.
So this was a... I don't think that you could say this was just like a typical, like, he swung it in aimlessly and we just someone got their head on it. Like, he clearly aimed for Sarr. That was clearly a plan, and he executed it brilliantly. So you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. I think when he was in the central areas, he looked dangerous and he looked a lot more lively than he was when he was stuck out on the left-hand side. There was a nutmeg on Paquetá there as well. I think just after we scored the opening goal. So he was looking more and more confident as the game went on. Yeah, I think, look, there are things to improve on, but I think as debuts go, pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, that corner, like you said, was right on the money for Sarr. It was just take a few steps, bang, get the power in. He tried to keep coming inside, which is obviously where he looks more comfortable and more threatening. And he did what he had to do. He grew into the game, got the assist, job done.
Yeah. And look, I want to see him in the 10 maybe next game, or I think if he is going to play on the left, I just think you need the doggy there, because I think the doggy's the one that's going to provide the width. Spence just is not going to really do that as well as he could. So I think that's something to think about. But I think there's a lot to be excited and encouraged about with Xavi Simons. On the right-hand side, Mohamed Kudus also both gave him 7s. Obviously, very hostile atmosphere, hostile reception, got loud boos whenever he was touching the ball. I don't think he let it affect him, though. I don't think it was like his best display, but I think he was pretty good again. I think taking people on, asking questions, winning lots of corners. He looked dangerous. I thought at the end of the first half, he was starting to look really dangerous, causing a bit of chaos. Late in the game as well, I thought he started to bring out some tricks and some flicks, starting to play really confident and maybe a bit selfish near the end, looking to get a goal for himself. He looked desperate to score. But I think by and large, especially in the first half as well, he was our best outlet. He was the only one that we were able to play a long ball to who was making it stick. And I think it was pretty good.
I was contemplating giving him an extra point and put it up to an 8, because he didn't let the occasion get to him. He didn't do anything rash. He didn't get sent off. He was getting so much abuse because of the rivalry and the way the transfer was done. So to keep a level head and do it, and I think it was, obviously you look at the Burnley game where he was just taking people on for fun and causing havoc. It wasn't like that. He had a job to do. Did get some opportunities to create, always looked to beat his man, didn't always get past them, but if he had just got that goal, but a good performance, job done, no yellow card, and he leaves the Olympic Stadium, or whatever the hell that place is called,
London Stadium,
with 3 points in the last laugh.
Absolutely. And final player of the starting 11, Matisse Tell, both gave him 5s. Unfortunately, look, there's no being around the bush. I'm someone who is a big believer in Tell, and he got an opportunity and he didn't take it, and that's a massive shame for him. And unfortunately, I don't think he was helped being played up front. He was isolated a lot. I think if you're going to play him in that position, he needs to start coming to the ball more and playing it on the ground and do little interchanges. And I think playing in a 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1, where maybe you have like a player nearer him, didn't help him. We were playing a lot of long passes into him when he wasn't able to make it stick. He was getting bullied a lot. He actually did have a bit of a role to play in the third goal. Did some really nice stuff on the touchline. Played it into Palhinha, who played it into Bergvall, and obviously we got the goal. But I think it was a very tough game for him, pretty anonymous for large parts. Struggled to get involved in the game. I think he's the one player you probably point to who really did genuinely struggle during the game.
Yeah, I mean, also there was one point we thought he might have had an injury.
True, and he soldiered on, didn't he?
He did that. Listen, I think what we've got to do for him is we've got to identify what his position is. And then when we know what his position is, or Frank does, really focus on developing to be that position. I think if we'd had a Mawani up front or a Richarlison that he could feed off of and have someone there to support him, we may have seen a different tale. I think this Doncaster game that we've got next Wednesday could be vital. I hope he starts that game. I think he will start that game. Let's hope he can bag a couple of goals and then kick on from there, because we see him do it for the France under-21s. Now, I know it's the under-21 level, and I know France got some great players, but he seems highly confident to take on shots like he did for that screamer again. But when he's at Tottenham, I don't think he's just got that. I think he's a little bit doubting himself or overthinking things.
The thing is, he doesn't get into positions. He doesn't get the opportunities. He's isolated. He's getting bullied. He doesn't really get opportunities to get on the ball much, and that happened in this game again. I'm confident we can get him in situations where he's on the ball in the final third, he can get shooting opportunities and he can do things. But I think it's almost like we played him up front and expected him to be a Solanke or Richarlison, where he's got the physicality to hold it up, and he just didn't have it.
Correct. I completely agree. I hope we can find a position for him, because I do believe there is a player in there somewhere, and we have a guy that is a master at being able to find that and develop it. But I just hope. I think his next opportunity will be Doncaster, and I think if he can grab a couple of goals or a goal, that could be the making of him confidence-wise. But, just a shame that there wasn't much for him to feed off of yesterday, was there?
Interesting, though, Frank spoke about him after game, saying, I thought it was a good display, impressive display, and I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Worked relentlessly pressed and worked very, very hard. So Frank was complimentary. Whether he was just doing it to boost his confidence or whether he meant it, we'll never know. But Frank had some nice words. And now talking about Thomas Frank, we both gave him 8s. Obviously a brilliant 3-0 win. I thought he managed the game pretty confidently, pretty well. I think, for the first half was again a bit stodgy, like we've seen in other games this season. But obviously the work we're doing on set pieces is actually winning us games at the moment. Yep. The way we managed the game when we were down to 10 men was really great. The way we rotated as well for the Champions League and ended up with a 3-0 win was fantastic. It was our first win away at West Ham for 6 years, and we won comfortably 3-0. Still some work to do when it comes to some in-possession stuff, but that will come. I think overall managed the game fantastically well. So gave him an 8.
3 goals. 3 goals, 3 points, clean sheet. What I did like as well is, it's going to sound very, very minuscule, but I love the fact that when he was making subs, he took Van der Ven off. So, right, we're 3-0 down. We don't need to waste your hamstrings or risk anything. Let's just get you off. I think the subs he's bringing on are being done at strategic times. Just another great day at the office from Thomas Frank.
Yeah, fantastic. And now 3 wins in his first 4 games. So a brilliant start to life at Spurs.
Correct.
All right, and that is your player ratings. Let me know in the comment section below if you agreed with all our ratings or what you thought, if you agreed or disagreed with who we rated and why. Let us know in the comment section below. And we'll end off the stream with reacts as we react to how social media reacted to our 3-0 win yesterday. So we'll get that up now. Here we are. And first up, this is a picture I was talking about before. So this is, you can see after Sarr scored, Palhinha, Tell, and Sarr all pointing to the coach on the sidelines just after the goal, because that was clearly a planned motion, wasn't it? The way the goal that we scored. And I think that's proof they're all acknowledging the coach on the sidelines there.
Yep. I think Bergvall's missed a trick there. Surely we should have got him doing it as well. The synchronized posing. Yeah, but it's great that they're acknowledging it. It seems like a very, very happy Cam at the moment, doesn't it? And they're acknowledging that the works that they're giving in, putting in is working.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really great to see from the Spurs players. Jacob Steinberg says there's nothing quite like the mass London Stadium walkout when West Ham go 3-0 down with half an hour left. And here's a video you can see of the West Ham ground at 3-0 with a good chunk of the game still left. And look how empty it is.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy. Look at that. You can there's barely a fan in sight.
You know what? Having those white seats just highlight it more, don't it?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Look, there's literally no one there, and I don't know. I can't see on the clock how long there is to go, but I think that says 68 on there. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Billy T says Chelsea rage baiting, some bloke. This is Xavi Simons who tweeted that just as suspiciously, just as Chelsea conceded their equaliser.
Oh, did he?
Against Brentford? Apparently so. Let me see. The timing of that was 10:05 p.m. So that was just as Chelsea drew to Brentford.
Well played, Xavi.
So is that him? A nod to his failed move to Chelsea and acknowledging that they drop points.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go with it.
I think he knew what he was doing. Statmuse FC says, go on, what were you going to say?
No, I said 100% agree with you.
Statmuse FC says Spurs clean sheets in the Prem, 3 this season, the first 4 games, and 6 all of last season. So we're halfway. We're 50% the way of our total clean sheet total of last season after 4 games.
Mate, we're almost a quarter of our points tally in 4 games as well. It's when you look at those stats and you look at it, 6 clean sheets all last season, 3 in 4 games. It's incredible the turnaround defensively from Thomas Frank and the defensive coach and Palhinha being there, and for the team defending as a team. These stats are wonderful to see, aren't they?
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. So that's obviously brilliant stuff defensively. Luke says talking about West Ham fans, they got battered so much they stopped booing Kudus. Although that's because there was no fans left to boo him. That's the truth. I think they were concentrating on booing him the whole game, but they gave up after a bit because there was just no point.
That's funny. That's very, very funny. They were really at the beginning, weren't they? They were fully invested in making his life hell. Mm-hmm. And then, just dissipated. That's
the Xavi Simons tweet again, so we'll just glaze over that. THFC says Bergvall out of this world. This was a brilliant moment for Bergvall, tracking back, winning a brilliant tackle, and then somehow swiveling out in between 2 players as well to get himself out of trouble. That was not, that's what I'm talking about, where I'm saying moments like that yesterday wasn't even just his goal. The quality he showed in those moments was phenomenal.
Outstanding.
So Bergvall, what a talent. Spurs pictures that go hard. Bergvall jumping for joy as he scored the goal that put Spurs 2-0 up. Brilliant picture that right in front of the West Ham fans. Absolutely brilliant. This was Kudus taking the piss here out of one of the West Ham players late in the game. See you later, I think is what you'd say if you're Mohamed Kudus. A little dink, and he was gone in a flash. Lovely stuff.
Wonderful.
Christina says, if it truly makes me happy to finally see a manager treating Jed like this, so much more to come from this player. Yeah, the meteoric rise of Jed Spence has to be studied, doesn't it? A year ago, ready to be let go of, ready to be sold for €6 million, and now England international, a staple in the team. I mean, I can't remember such a dramatic turnaround in such a quick space of time.
first of all, he deserves a lot of credit. A lot of credit for Turner's run. Obviously, Neil Warnock had come out and said his things about him. We didn't know if we'd find a place for him, club signing, whatever you want to call it. I was doubting him. When he wasn't getting picked in. But this is what we want. This is what we all want. People that have been doubting people to come in and go, do you know what? That's how you do it. And what I love about this video is it looks like, if you watch it, he gives him a bit of praise and then it's like, nah. Then he does it again and then he's all smiles. It's just wonderful to see the smiles on this football club. The manager going around and doing this. It's just so refreshing to see clips like this, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know if I liked it. Spence tweeted again yesterday saying another player added to the penitentiary, or the penitentiary is expanding, he said, with a picture of him and Bowen. So absolutely phenomenal. All About Argentina says, seriously, what Christian Romero can't do? I mean, this was a little clip of his pass to Bergvall. I mean, it's an astonishing pass, isn't it? And what can't this guy do? I mean, the defending is brilliant. Obviously, he's amazing for Argentina. But that pass was like prime Perla. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
It's right on the money.
Right on the money. Yeah. It's a brilliant pass and a brilliant finish. Ben Borman.
No, I will say, sorry, just before you do that, on that video, if you look at it, the great thing about it is look at Bergvall's right there. Then when you play it, he sees the run, he goes for it and makes that option for Romero. But boy, Romero delivers it. But the way that Bergvall has seen that space and gone for it, this goal is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, the pass doesn't even look to be that on before it's played.
And then Bergvall makes his run.
He makes it, yeah, and he puts it right on the money.
Yeah.
Ben Borman says, easy work, and that's him celebrating at the London Stadium. Fantastic stuff, Ben Borman. I love it when he's in this kind of mood. Big up to Ben Borman, one absolute legend away at the London Stadium. West Ham Central tweeting out a picture of the Tottenham lineup pre-kickoff saying beatable. Didn't quite pan out as they had hoped, I think, it's fair to say, for West Ham Central. I think probably the opposite was true when it comes to who was beatable. HY report says Spurs got Lucas Bergvall and Pat Matisar for 22.9 million. I mean, what business that is. Incredible, isn't it?
Yep. One for Paratici, one for Lange.
Just under 23 million for those two. I mean, if we were to sell them in today's market, you're getting probably over 100 million for the pair, at least.
Yep. Combined, definitely.
Yeah, crazy. What unbelievable business. Luke says Paqueta stopped and said fair enough. And as we focus on Paqueta there, he just gave up, I think, after Bergvall made that challenge. I think he knows he ain't competing with him. Fair enough. Fantastic. Spurs fans waving goodbye to the West Ham fans, leaving the stadium at 3-0, and there was a lot of them. Is there a fire drill? A fire drill? Absolutely brilliant video, that. As the West Ham fans go streaming out, Tottenham fans were on top of the world yesterday with Levy leaving and Spurs winning 3-0 West Ham. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Spurs Web says Thomas Frank is a full paid member of the Lucas Bergvall fan club. I think we all are. We all are.
100%.
What are you doing if you're not, eh?
Exactly. It's just, honestly, it's so good to see that there's so many things at the moment in the right way. Everything is pointing upwards. And how can you not be a fan of him? He's a special talent.
BR Football says how West Ham fans welcomed Mohamed Kudus back on his return. This is like the, you remember that old Dele Alli video picture against Chelsea away, that famous one?
Yep.
I mean, zooming in on some of these West Ham fan faces, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And obviously Mohamed Kudus had the last laugh, but West Ham fans were not happy to see him, it's fair to say. This is a brilliant picture. Absolutely brilliant picture. Phenomenal stuff, but Kudus had the last laugh. So many angry West Ham fans in that picture. Decky and me would a tweet saying #HandsomeFC. So they're pretty delighted with the aesthetics of our team.
We're the new Spice Boys.
Looks like it. We should maybe they should create a boy band. I think maybe that's the next evolution of our team. Tottenham tweeting out job done, and this is obviously us celebrating after the game. Jed Spence and Van der Ven coming up to the camera. Great stuff. That was us Spurs players in the tunnel. Delighted with that 3-0 win. Pape with that. He's taken over from the Sonny smile, isn't it? That
big time.
Contagious smile that Sarr has.
Very much so.
Cuti Romero on Instagram says, win, great team performance. No doubt we still need to keep improving, but this is the way. Incredible support from the fans. Thank you. See you Tuesday at home. Great to see Romero tweeting these things out, knowing he signed that contract and committed his future. It hit differently now, doesn't it?
This most certainly does.
Lovely stuff. Next one is from... I've lost my here from Billy T again says, I got ballers at my club. What a window. And Xavi, Kudus and Bergvall all in one picture celebrating in front of the fans. How much talent there is in one picture, Brian.
Oh, it's incredible. Do you know what I love about this photo as well? Jay, as in Change for Spurs, Jay, used this photo, and I think there's a video clip of it as well where they're doing it. And West Ham made a West Ham account did a piss take video of Kudus looking at the Club World Cup. There was like a video where saying, oh, this is the photo of all photos. Well, Jay's just retweeted this photo on top of it and said, this is the photo of photos. It's great to see. There is a lot of talent there. If those three get purring, Premier League beware.
Yeah, that's literally all our creativity pretty much in one picture. And I'm all here for it. Hotspur related said, Lucas Bergvall is Tottenham's youngest goal scorer in the Premier League since Dele Alli against Aston Villa in November 15. That's mad to think about. Only Dele is younger than him in all that time. That just goes to show how young was a tiny reminder of how young he really is, Bergvall. And he's even had a season behind him now. It's mad, isn't it? Youngest goal scorer since Dele.
I will say as well, Hotspur related got it wrong. It was against Leicester. He scored his first goal in August. But so that would have been a few more days. But yeah, like you said, these kind of things are lovely to hear, that youngsters are coming through. First Premier League goal. Great moment for Bergvall. And this guy will go from strength to strength, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And just again, it's just a reminder of how young Bergvall really is and how much time he's got ahead of him. Harry Brooks says, dominant performance, but the staff and team need to be looking at the struggles they have in two key areas: a variety of chance creation and progressing play centrally in the first two phases. Variety of chance creation will be massively helped by progressing the ball better centrally from deeper and vice versa. Playing Football Manager but throwing down 150 million to 200 million to sign Wharton and Semenyo then. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. But what do you think of what he's saying here? Still need to improve these two key areas, variety of how we create chances and progressing the ball centrally. This is the point I'm guessing I was making earlier, in the sense that we're, in terms of creating chances, still heavily reliant on set pieces, it seems.
I've got agreement and disagreement. I mean, again, if we're going to win 3-0 and we do it this way, I'm going to take it all day, every day. But, like I said, there are things that need to improve. And you know what? I'd rather be saying this, that we need to improve from a position of winning 3-0 than drawing or losing the game and saying, oh my God, we need to sort this out quick. Once Frank has got the settled team and knows what his best formation, I think Xavi Simons moving into the centre makes a huge difference to this. And then when we find our first choice left back, whether we do Odegaard, whether it's Johnson, whether it's Richarlison, whether it's Mawani, then we'll start seeing. We've got to find our rhythm. But yeah, I do understand we need to get a variation of chance creation. And I think as well, when we've got a forward, when we know how to get the best out of them, that will also change. So it's things that need to be improved on, but we're improving from a solid base, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree with that. The touchline says Xavi Simons with a cute smile. From one number 7 with a cute smile to another, Brian.
There you go. Like you said, Pape Matter, it's all smiles at Tottenham Hotspur right now, isn't it?
They're saying that's a requirement to wear our number 7 now. You have to have a cute smile.
Well, then he's passed the test, hasn't he?
Seems that way.
He's worthy.
João Palhinha's game by numbers. You can see here some brilliant stats. 3 out of 5 tackles, 58, 64 passes completed, 7 passes into the final third. 7 out of 9 ground duels won, brilliant. 3 out of 5 aerial duels won, 2 fouls won, including that red card. No fouls committed yesterday, which is unlike Palhinha. Really solid display.
Yeah, I want to change my 7 to an 8 in players' ratings based on that. I mean, how can people argue or think that what a fantastic performance? It's scary how good he is in what he needs to be, isn't it? It's scary.
Premier League panel says the fact Romero is Spurs' best progressive passer. And that is it for today's post game, day after stream. Quick super chat is first quickly from, where's it gone? From Ryan or Rain. Rain says, rumour has it on 85 minutes, Kudus is the only person from the photo of him and the West Ham fans left in the ground. Brilliant. And Tigero says, be the wild gents, Levy out, players in, spending cash, Frank on fire. We might just be heading in the right direction. Come on, you Spurs.
Hang on,
it's not Levy out, it's Levy gone.
Levy gone, damn right. Damn right.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And look, it's all very exciting at the moment. It does seem to be maybe Tottenham are finally getting their act together as a club. Let's hope we keep going in this direction. All right, Brian, thank you so much for joining me on today's stream. Big up to everyone who joined us for today's stream in the chat. We'll see you all tomorrow for the pre-match Villarreal stream, because the game is on Tuesday, so things moving very quickly on We Are Tottenham TV and for Tottenham. So we look ahead tomorrow to the Villarreal stream. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. We'll see you all very, very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.